Are you a bully? No, I'm not talking to you. That is the next subject in our discussion with Dr. Nachi Sinha. It's the fifth and final episode, if you like, in this current series. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well, Toby. Thank you for having me back.
Yes. Now, I think most bullies don't really realise they're bullies, do they?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, so that's what we're going to talk about today, actually. We'll talk about, say 12 signs that signify, sort of indicate if you have bullying behavior, and often we joke around and say something hurtful to people around us without even realizing how terrible it is. So today, I guess that's what you and I are going to do, Toby. Talk about bullies.
We're going to take a right old look in the mirror today. So why is it important that we know the signs of bullying?
So recognizing and understanding, the bullying signs is going to enable us to be more mindful, of our own words, behaviors, and body language. And that's why it's important. And if we don't know, then let's make an assumption. Let's say, in general, we're nice human beings. And let's say our bullying behavior is not purposefully done, then we can improve. But the other way around, I don't think that's going to help those who really want to be bullies because they know what they're doing.
Yes. So what are the main signs of actually being a bully?
So one of the things is that, one gets easily angry on other mistakes. I can feel that, Terry. So now, we all want people to fulfill expectations, right? If not exceed them. So when you're assigned a managerial position or dedicate tasks to someone, you naturally expect them to do the work you want, right? So, but when the employee is new to the company and they need time to adjust and and sort of get in tune with the responsibilities. Now, it's fine if you get upset and angry with your coworkers or juniors' mistakes. It's natural to feel these emotions, of course. But the question is, what do you do with it? Expressing your anger aggressively and belittling the person for their mistakes is not okay. In fact, it is bullying behavior from your side. Your anger, aggressive behavior, and insults can harm the person's confidence and, of course, embarrass them in front of their colleagues.
Yeah. Does that anger include yelling at people?
Well, unfortunately, yes, Toby, it does, because whether it's employees, spouse, kids, or friends, or even somebody who's helping you with your children around the house, yelling is off the table. Raising your voice in anger, or to intimidate people is never okay, all right? In fact, it's considered emotional abuse. Let's not forget that. And many organizations have strict policies for that. So if you're upset or angry at someone, let them know by having a civil conversation. Shouting and behaving rudely will only increase the friction between you and the employee. Plus, don't shout to anybody, and by the way, I wasn't shouting at you when I said that, Toby. Think of the consequences it can lead you to if you are a reporter to the HR or senior management. So if you have the habit of yelling at people and can't control it, distance yourself from that coworker, change your environment, cool yourself down a bit, and then discuss your issues with the person. But stay away from yelling.
Some people naturally end up with a raised voice during a debate or a discussion, but that's not bullying, is it?
Right. Great question. You see, every person has a different point of view, ideas, opinions and that, right? So expecting them to agree with you all the time actually is a sign of bullying behavior. So disagreements, debates, and arguments, these are part of the workplace. These are bound to happen, but when different minds work together, each has a different understanding and solution to the problem. But good teammates try to understand each other and find the best solution. Yeah. But you see, what happens here is a bully hates when somebody differs from them or has a different or better idea than them. The bully wants everyone to listen to them and always to do what they ask. So instead of opting for a healthy discussion and making an effort to understand others, guess what the bully does? They resort to heated arguments. Moreover, they don't hesitate to make personal attacks on the coworker, to belittle them in front of their entire team. So observe yourself when you are in discussion with someone, check your tone, mind your word selection and body language while you're expressing your views. So if you get angry or aggressive, remind yourself that you are resorting to what is bullying behaviour.
Yeah. And some people try and make a big thing about their co-workers' mistakes, don't they? They give a lot of attention to it. Does that count as bullying?
Right. So, I mean, again, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, so let's take a step back and look at the whole picture again. I mean, a bully often believes that they're the best and the most dedicated person in the company, right? That's how it rolls. They expect others around them to show the same performance, quality, work, pace. But all employees can't give their best shot, especially, if they're new to the company. And also if the bully is delusional. Now, a supportive boss or co-worker always helps the new team members. They also guide them about their responsibilities. See, a bully, though, is not supportive. They expect people to deliver remarkable results. And if the person fails to fulfill their expectations, the bully doesn't refrain from humiliating them publicly, or they announce the mistake and errors of the coworker in front of everybody, right? So publicly embarrassing the employee once again shatters their confidence, and they feel inferior to the teammates. So don't do that, don't do it. If you want to inform the employee about their shortcomings, do so privately with the dignity it deserves, and do not share it with other employees. Now, if you have a habit of pointing out errors or highlighting the weaknesses of your employees in front of everybody else, you are a bully. 10 points for that. I mean, minus 10, I guess. And you must change this habit before you crush the self-esteem of your colleagues and you make your work environment a living hell.
Yeah. And we talked a few weeks ago, of course, about the pranks and stuff. I suppose making jokes about someone that are quite offensive can crush their self-esteem also.
Yeah. So, so if you are somebody, let's say, who loves making everyone laugh at the workplace. I mean, this sounds like such a nice thing. Oh, yeah, what's wrong with that? Well, it's good to keep things mellow at the workplace. It's your employees, of course, but sort of, look at your jokes for a bit. I mean, do a bloody audit of some kind if you want to, right? I mean, keep track of what kind of jokes you're actually cracking, Do you mimic somebody's walking, talking, or eating habits? Do you comment on your employees' appearance, attire, and personal beliefs? Do you make racist or sexist jokes, right? I mean, do you make personal attacks on your employees because they don't agree with, because you don't agree with them? And it's important to look at these things and ask yourself those questions. But here's the kicker. If the answer to this question is yes, you are a bully. Many people listening to this would go, my God, I mean, what is this? The land of politically correct. But it's important to see that, organizations are moving in this direction where creating a workplace which is safe for everybody is at the core of an organization's value. So yes, I mean, you will be considered a bully. You might think that you're doing a good thing by making everyone laugh. However, the person who you're targeting, though, who's the butt of your joke, so to speak, is, they feel awful. It kind of stresses them out and disturbs their focus and triggers anxiety and, and also in turn will bring down work productivity. So refrain from making jokes at somebody's expense. I mean, you can be the funny guy at work if you want to, just don't target your team members or other employees in the organization, with your jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I used to work with someone who wanted to control absolutely everything. Right. And some of my co-workers found it quite intimidating because some of the stuff they quite wanted to do but weren't allowed because she wanted to. Was she a bully?
Right. So you're talking about a classic case of micromanaging.
Yeah.
You see, micromanaging a department, employees and projects, it slows things down. That's the first thing that one has to keep in mind. It also makes it impossible for employees to give their best shot if someone is sort of breathing down their neck.
Yeah.
Right? Suppose you're obsessed with keeping tabs on everything and everyone in your team. In that case, your department is going to lag, it's going to be slow, and your employees will become demotivated. So when you assign tasks to your team members, let them do their jobs to the best of their abilities. That's crucial. Checking and questioning them quite constantly to see if they're doing it correctly will waste yours and your employees' time. And moreover, to be frank with you, Toby, constantly checking the employees will make them nervous, and makes the person lose their focus too. Thus, let the employee do their work in peace. And if you think the employee needs guidance, or is not doing things correctly, instruct them, make them aware of their errors in private. Do not, again, yell at them or show any aggressive behavior. Now, hence you feel if your department and employees are not performing well, try changing your management style. Stop micromanaging and keeping tabs. Simply assign the task and give clear instructions and step back a bit. Yeah. I guess that answers your question, Toby, without me even saying anything.
Yes, I think it does. And if a boss is micromanaging everything, they clearly don't have much faith in their employees, do they?
Not appreciating the employees once in a while or giving them credit when they deserve it is a sign of bullying, right? So if your employees have outdone themselves, they should be appreciated and rewarded with either monetary or non-monetary benefits, depending on the kind of company. Appreciation from managers and supervisors, boosts employee morale, and also motivates them to maintain the performance and deliver good results. So if you do not appreciate the employees enough, start doing it today. Give them appreciation notes or send them an email to keep them motivated and dedicated to their jobs. So, the micromanaging bit clearly falls in the category of not appreciating, and so it doesn't serve any purpose apart from negative purpose.
Yeah. Well, today we've talked about the 7 signs of being a bully. How would you summarise this whole idea overall?
Right, you're right. So workplace bullying, makes the organization's culture toxic and unhealthy. Yeah. Right? That's how we should look at it. It takes away the employees' motivation, the concentration, and sort of stresses them out. A toxic culture also results in increased employee turnover and low quality work. So what you're looking at ultimately is the company suffers financially and their reputation in the market is also tarnished. So for any of the managers or people in senior position who are listening to this, you need to refrain from resorting to bullying or aggressive behavior. If you are doing that, I'm only making a presumption. And by doing that, I'm not trying to bully you, just making a comment. Any hurtful comments or jokes and insults can make the employee's life miserable. Yes. So, it's important to keep that in context to me.
Yes, excellent. Well, this is the last time we've got you on for now. That's the end of the Workplace Bullying series. So it's been a pleasure to have you on for the last 5 times. So have a great day.
Thank you, Toby. Take care. Glad to be back.